The Vision Pro marks a major moment in Apple's first foray into headsets, promises to overhaul how we compute and experience life in the virtual reality world. This amazing, sleek, and wearable headset is crammed full of bleeding-edge tech like tiny OLED displays and advanced eye-tracking aims, which take VR experience to a whole different level. However, slick devices alone can't manifest revolutions overnight. And now finally released, and as we crack open the packaging, questions swirl about whether prototypes can actually live up to expectations and actually shape daily life beyond tech circles. Similar to how the iPhone revolutionized the cell phone industry, can the Vision Pro's comfort and controls reach levels to earn a permanent place on our faces? And what killer apps might compel people to communally inhabit virtual spaces? I'm truly excited to take a look and share with you guys an exclusive first look and experience wearing this engineering marvel firsthand. Is this really the of Oculus and Meta's lofty VR dreams? Or will it remain an ambitious work in progress? Either way, let's explore this milestone that pushes possibilities further. The future won't forge itself. So for the first time, let's experience it together. The unboxing of one of Apple Vision Pro.
So, big box, but the headset is relatively small. Shout out to Jerry Everything for the knife. And inside, this is a really soft box. Whoa. And this here is a third little box. So, this is an incredibly flimsy box, but I'll just take this one out. So the three things we have now are the Vision Pro headset in this box, the Vision Pro Zeiss lenses, so these are optical inserts, so if you have a prescription, then these come in the box and they will magnetically attach to the headset, so if you wear glasses, you can still use the headset. And this is the optional $200 extra Vision Pro travel case. This thing, this is a whole aesthetic. I'll get to that in a second. I'm just gonna leave that right here. But this is the headset itself. It's gonna slide. Yep. Out of this. So this is like the size of, I mean, it's bigger than a Mac box. This might be bigger than the Mac Studio box, but there you go. And it's got all the pull tabs. I do expect pretty good packaging here. This is such a high pressure first gen product for Apple, so I'm expecting pretty good packaging for this introduction to a first gen thing. Take the tabs off. And then it's like a shoebox. Okay. So there's the headset. So the headset comes with this little cover on it, and it's dressed up with one of these bands. This band right here is the one that you see in all the commercials. It's this really soft, stretchy fabric material, and it's in this sort of cardboard head. This is the Solo Knit band. There's another band though that I'm pretty sure comes with this that is called the Dual Loop band. So I'll put this to the side real quick and see what else comes in this like shoebox size box. So this pops off. This is quality. And then we're into the inside, which is a Designed by Apple in California pamphlet. Oh, I bet there's stickers in here. Oh, there's a microfiber too, okay. Then there is the light seal cushion. Oh, I think you get two of these. Yeah, there's one thin light seal and one thick light seal. I'll get to that in a second. And at the top, there's a lot of explaining to do. Some more heavy Vision Pro paperwork. And this is the dual loop band. So this is the second band that goes both around the back of your head and over the top of your head. We'll try that out for comfort over the Solo Knit band. And then there's your power. So the battery that comes with the Vision Pro is this thing right here. It's all very white. Everything in this box is either white or silver. It's pretty heavy. So this smells pretty new. It's got this white braided cable. And I don't know if Apple's even called this MagSafe, but at the end of this cable is one proprietary connector right there. And that connector is what plugs into the side of the headset, and this is the battery, the 2.5 to 3 hour battery that comes with Vision Pro. It says on the back actually, 3,166 milliamp hours. I know a lot of phones that have 5,000 milliamp hour batteries that feel much lighter than this, so I'm curious why this feels so heavy, but that's the battery. And then in order to get more than 2.5 hours or to charge the battery, you have the cable, USB-C, and the wall brick. So let's see what the wall brick says. I hope it charges fast. 30 watts. So not super fast, but this is a 30 watt brick, USB Type-C, and then a C-to-C braided cable. Okay, that's it for the inside of this box. So now let's go over these accessories. So okay, let's do the paperwork first, because this is probably the most common stuff. Everyone's gonna get this. This is a little booklet of what's in the box and a sort of a first, and that is all the pairing it to your iPhone, putting it on for the first time, connecting the straps. I'll show you guys this. Oh, and even how to store the cable around the battery. So apparently you do not want to wrap it vertically, but you do want to wrap it horizontally with a little bit of slack. Okay, I bet there's stickers. So polishing cloth, and that is a different polishing cloth to the one that comes with their monitors. Oh, it's nice and thin. That's a nice polishing cloth. People were comparing it to the like $20 polishing cloth for the studio display and the pro display. This is a different polishing cloth. The front of it is glass. You're probably gonna wanna use this to wipe it down once in a while, so I feel like this is a microfiber I'll keep. I know some people unboxing this who are gonna be very disappointed in the lack of Vision Pro themed stickers. All right, so when you buy an Apple Vision Pro, everyone actually has to go through a sort of a face scanning process. So you actually use the iPhone with the Face ID sensors to measure the depth and scan around your eyes and your face, and you end up with a custom fitted light seal. The light seal cushion is either thin or thick. So maybe you have the optical inserts and you want it a little further from your face, or you just want a little extra cushion. This would be the thicker cushion that you would use. Okay, so there you go, that's the thicker cushion. But the idea is the light seal around the Vision Pro is shaped to roughly match your face. It's not like exactly custom molded, it's more that they have a preset number of different sizes and shapes, and when you do the scan, it picks the one that matches you the best to give you the best immersion. Let's take the plastic or the cardboard off of Vision Pro. And, sort of a standard head size, I guess, right there. And if we take this protective off the first time, dang, there's your glass. A lot of lights in this room, so it's gonna be pretty reflective, but now you can probably imagine why people are gonna carry this Vision Pro cloth. Notice it says Vision Pro on the microfiber. Hopefully you can see that, but yeah. So when you get the headset, you're gonna notice two things. One, this is the thicker version, this thinner version pops off. And two, this light seal, this is the custom light seal that pops off, and then you're just left with this. This is the entire computer for Apple Vision Pro. It's pretty small. It's not unlike a lot of other VR headsets, but it's got this aluminum housing around the outside. You can see the tons of sensors and glass, and it is very front weighted. This light seal is what's ideally shaped to match your face and block the light out. It attaches just like AirPods Max. You've seen AirPods Max headphone covers just like that. There you go. And I'm gonna go with the thin light seal cushion. And there's the normal look to the Vision Pro headset.
So what do you guys think now? Do you like what you see in there? Do let me know below, and let's carry on.
Now let's take this dual loop band out, because this is the other one that there's been a lot of talk about the weight of the Vision Pro. And this is the reason why Apple has decided to include two bands in the box. There are different band sizes as well, so when you measure your head, you're either getting a small, medium, or a large size for your bands. So I've got mediums of both of these. For this dual loop, let's take it out. So you can see, there's so much cardboard. There's 2 loops, one over your head and one behind your head. So there's a very specific process to taking off and attaching these bands with Vision Pro. So I'm gonna put this on for the first time without booting it up, just so you can see how this works. So this is the solo band right here. Kind of goes around the back of your head. And then, if I'm in the right, yep, this spot right here, this, you just crank this. And it tightens it up. Yeah, and the weight is really basically just now pulling it onto the front of your face. All the weight is on the front. And it kind of lands on your cheeks and on your forehead. This is how it looks in all the commercials. It's the most simple looking band. You can pull the band up or down to kind of adjust the way it sits on your head. But as you can probably already tell, that might get a little uncomfortable. So to take this band off and switch to the other one, all you got to do is, you see this, this orange pull tab in here? This orange pull tab is just to release the band from the Vision Pro. So if I pull that, it unclicks the metal, and I pull that other one, and it just pops right off. And that's the headset without the band attached to it. And you have these little pods here over each ear, which are a bunch of speaker drivers pointing down into your ear. These are some seriously small components. They're so dense though. Like, this is heavy despite being small. So if you want to put the other band on, it's basically exactly as you'd expect. Attaches like that and like that. And now you can change it with Velcro. You can make it taller in the top, taller in the back. So let's try it. Let's try taller in the top and taller in the back. Oh, that's so much more well distributed. And I happen to adjust it pretty close to my head, pretty much perfectly. That is gonna be much easier to wear for longer. But of course, now you have this thing across the top of your head, so not everybody's gonna like that, but I think it's immediately a better fit. It's more comfortable. Wow. Okay, I'm probably gonna be using that more often. But let's get to this, this travel case. So this, I guess, isn't really a travel case as much as it's just like a protective outer layer for the glass, since this whole outside, which has a ton of fingerprints already, is just covered in glass. You might want to just pop it in here, and then theoretically you can maybe put that in a backpack. I don't know if you would want to, but this is the extra Vision Pro travel case. It's got this handle on the top. Oh, and it extends out a little bit. That's nice. That's well thought, nice and tight. And then it opens up, and it's got sort of molding in the places that you'd put the headset. So this is where the battery will go. And it's even got this molded spot for the cable, so I can slide that in there, Velcro it down, and the cable should be able to just wrap in here. Then the other side, another case. And then it says this is where your, accessory pouch. So this is where you put polishing cloth, power brick, and USB-C charging cable. These things make sense. Keep them in there. Activated carbon deodorizer, do not eat. Then you put the headset in here, put the accessories in there, and close it up.
Peering through the lenses, the Vision Pro's visual prowess becomes apparent. 4K OLED displays push the limits of resolution while minimizing distracting pixelation. Images dazzle with gorgeous contrast, revealing the finest details, from shadows to highlights. Made from advanced manufacturing techniques rather than off-the-shelf components, the design stays true to Apple's obsessive material science and construction. Yet peek behind the sleek facade and fabric-textured front plate, and the Portal-esque robotic eyes feel decidedly eerie. More importantly, peek directly into the experience enabled by this engineering marvel, and fundamental limitations become evident. The field of view feels undeniably restricted, almost like peering through binoculars, with noticeable color fringe and distortions towards the edges. And, supporting only 54% of visible colors, the Vision Pro falls painfully short of matching the complete spectrum of human visual perception. Promising the moon while delivering mere crumbs of potential does no favors in managing expectations. Still, wow-worthy engineering does enable effortless video pass-through at a razor-sharp resolution and fluid 120 Hz refresh rate. You can make out the brilliantly crisp text on an iPhone screen inches from your face without blown-out overexposed visuals or weird exposure compensation issues that would plague most other headsets. Even direct sunlight did not completely overwhelm the dynamic range. This glimpse decisively surpasses any augmented or mixed reality implementation witnessed in consumer-grade hardware thus far. Yet we must acknowledge cameras inherently introduce artifacts. Motion blur increases in low light as processing struggles, and straight lines subtlety warp at the edges as lenses distort perspectives. And even the most advanced micro-OLED displays cannot truly equal reality. Colors mute ever so slightly, brightness peaks at a fraction of real-world perception, and resolutions remain bounded while human eyes see infinitesimal details. No synthetic replication measures up to even our narrow senses. Perhaps these limitations persist insurmountably, or near-endless refinements await ahead, but nonetheless, flaws persist. So is perceiving reality mediated entirely through smartphone-class cameras and displays fundamentally superior to actual reality. This philosophical dilemma defines the pivotal experiential trade-offs marrying the Vision Pro proposition. Shifting gears and discussing the radically innovative hands-free input mechanism offers another gateway to understanding the promise and limits of this gadget. Tracking your hands and eyes to control interfaces initially seems spellbinding, a superpower granting telekinetic abilities over this next-gen computer. Consumer VR commonly relies on ergonomically questionable wand controllers. Apple eschews that entirely to instead leverage our innate tactile abilities and movements to interact within virtual elements. Guess they took that classic Steve Jobs stylist disdain to heart. The external cameras recognize a surprisingly large interaction envelope around your body. Subtle taps, pinches, swipes, and slides appear effortlessly detectable over a coffee table or in your lap without tiring mid-air gestures. Even minute muscle movements translate reliably into input commands. No doubt Apple eliminated fatigue-inducing poses cleverly while maximizing natural user behaviors. But can this technical wizardry sustain that magical first impression through prolonged usage spanning hours, days, and weeks? Unfortunately, the gaze-activated selections suffer from slight imprecision, while human hands and eyes bear natural micro-motions and drift. You often end up cautiously reconfirming selections, interrupting the fluidity of control. And the system depends wholly on constant visual recognition, loses line of sight due to environmental darkness or obstruction, and it falters instantly. After the honeymoon phase, niggling reliability issues compound noticeably. Perhaps these limitations persist insurmountably, or await remedies through endless refinements, but nonetheless, the unpredictability persists. Fundamentally, this promising approach shines brightly at times but fails unexpectedly too. It may never deliver the pixel-perfect precision of touch or mouse input. Now, regarding the VisionOS software itself, building atop iPadOS origins ushers expected Apple refinement. Slick animations, spatial audio design, and mRNA machine learning algorithms reinforce Apple's technical prowess in human interfaces. Multitasking feels expansive thanks to macOS integration, granting a massive virtual desktop to manipulate information within. But does this parallel reality truly entice you to wear a weighty headset for hours on end for work and play outside short-term novelty? The content offerings seem remarkably sparse at launch outside media consumption, lacking support from many productivity, communication, enterprise, and even gaming apps enjoyed ubiquitously on iPhones. And the absolute absence of common VR comfort considerations seems concerning for first-time explorers' enjoyment. One badly designed experience could easily trigger nausea. While the immense App Store scale and potential remain Apple's undisputed advantage over the long term, seismic shifts in consumer behavior and workplace dynamics rarely materialize overnight. This could remain a developer and creative pro device for the foreseeable future, unlike the iPhone's instant breakout success. Regarding the shockingly steep pricing, extraordinary R&D costs do reasonably justify the eye-watering $3,500 starting ticket. But mandatory accessories like additional battery packs for acceptable untethered durations or prescription lens inserts further pinch your pockets. relying on proprietary cables rather than ubiquitous USB-C limits replacement avenues too. Comparing such a bold first-generation product with established rivals perhaps unfairly expects Apple levels of polish, yet consumer pricing performance expectations pose unavoidable challenges nevertheless. When basic capabilities like acceptable battery life, expansive apps, and photorealistic visuals seem simply non-negotiable baselines for positive word of mouth, this resembles a pricey early chapter rather than a climax of intelligent spatial interfaces. Good, but far from great. Zooming out, Apple still deserves enormous credit for radically leapfrogging ambient computing's vision, light years ahead virtually overnight. The sheer audacity displayed in shipping such multi-sensory hardware and software capabilities opens unconventional doors. The Vision Pro marks a starting line more than a crowning destination. Did we expect structural limitations given this wholly unprecedented product category? How soon did the original iPhone transform the industry's fate despite glaring omissions at launch like the App Store and 3G connectivity that seem so integral retrospectively? But Apple passionately persisted nevertheless to eventually profoundly impact all of humanity through iPhones. So while one cannot ignore considerable current imperfections, Apple's legendary knack for thoughtful refinement points towards similar persistence, a head-to-inch towards the full spatial computing vision. Undoubtedly, clunkier Genesis prototypes exist locked away in their labs even today. Partners like Disney and Adobe should spawn creative solutions to offset some software gaps too. Ultimately, few other companies can ship such an exponentially ambitious foundation, upholding such spectacle, promise, and cosmetic delight while transcending across industries. The Vision Pro seems destined as a harbinger rather than the apex of ambient intelligence. Watching this meticulous unboxing reveals the Vision Pro as both astonishing and imperfect. We stand awestruck at the engineering enabling such vivid alternate dimensions from a slick headset. Yet compromises embedded inside the portal give pause. Noticeable visual distortions, stray voice inputs, sluggish gesture response times, and accessibility barriers indicate an ambitious first chapter rather than a polished experience for the masses. Still, appreciating first-generation limitations remains imperative. Apple compels the industry overnight to re-envision reality by awakening such a spectacle. This sets the stage to potentially reshape how humanity computes. Perhaps in time, spatial limitations confronting today's pioneering explorers may reconcile through relentless optimizations before culminating in ubiquitous AR integration. For now, donning this isolated headset seems most captivating when visually consuming movies or exploring virtual art galleries briefly. The Vision Pro at once enthralls powerfully, yet exposes inevitable growing pains reconcilable with patient persistence. Regardless, Apple has irreversibly awakened the world to emerging immersive frontiers. Now I hope you liked the video. If yes, then do press the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future updates from us.